Chafing Armor Podcast, Episode 30, Dead Man's Chest. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host, and snug as a bug in a recording rug, because I'm in this little cave that helps to cancel background noise, I am your Dungeon Master, Michael Corley, and with me today is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you will be playing.
I am playing Morezi Mugra, a level 3 orc barbarian.
Excellent. And also with us today is James. James, please tell everyone who you will be playing.
Hi, everybody. I'm playing Penton Chalice, everyone's favorite shiny spellcaster, specifically a sorcerer, and he's a spell scale.
He certainly is a pretty man. And also with us is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Good evening, everyone. This is Dare, and I'm playing Tix Birchmanson, a level 3 gnome cleric who has run off from his village for adventure.
Indeed, and with our wonderful backstories, we now have that in great detail that y'all can check out. And last but not least, we have with us Lee. Lee is going to be telling us about his Twitch channel. Tell us about your Twitch channel, Lee.
G'day, folks. I have just started up doing regular game streams over on twitch.tv/OneLifeZeroContinues, or one word. Yeah, feel free to stop by, check it out. I'm not sure about time zones for everybody, but yeah, if I'm online, I'm online. If I'm not, I'm not. Feel free to give us a follow.
Perfect. And we'll put a link for that in the show notes. And that's what Lee is here to tell us about today. Thank you so much, Lee.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Now, where we last left off, our adventurers, Morezi, Tix, and Penton, have all been sucked unwillingly to an island after various naval adventures. Something strange is happening in the water. Undead have been attacking on this island. And on this island, they saved a young woman with strange burns on her back who identified herself as Spree. And Spree told you at the end, "Oh, thank you so much for saving me, but you've got to leave or you'll all die." What are you going to do?
Why are we going to die? She says.
Oh, she looks over to you. Oh, you great big beefy half-orc. You don't understand. This is the island of death. This is the island of the hags. There are 3 hags here that rule this island. They rule the Sand Swallow Sea. And they'll be the end of you all if you don't leave right now.
Why are you here?
You see, like, you don't think she even consciously does it, but she reaches back and touches the scars on her back. And she says, well, I'll tell you, but first let me thank you for saving me. Those skillies, those damn bones, they usually just torment me so, but they've run wild. They've gone completely bonkers. I think they were really going to kill me. And she reaches down and she touches the sand, and the sand around you begins to swirl around you. But you sense that it's not an attack, especially you, Penton. You know, and in fact, Tix, you recognize this as some kind of healing magic. And the sand just lifts up around you in a circular cone-like fashion. And you all feel it kind of touch you in the most, like, exfoliating type way. And all of you completely heal. And when I say completely heal, I mean that you've got not just your hit points back, but all of your spells as well.
Oh,
wow.
Which is very nice of your DM, because you're really going to need it.
Oh, boy.
Man, I just love these new Lush products.
This is D&D Lush products.
Did
indeed.
you also write this in because it's been so long that none of us remember what hit points we were at?
I actually do have most of that written down, but it's more that there has never been a point where any of our lovely spellcasters have had a chance to rest. And rather than be disruptive to the game, I decided to throw this in here as a little reward for you, particularly to Tix and for Penton.
Thank you.
And as she's doing this, you see she kind of enters like a dreamlike state. It takes a few minutes for this to fully take effect. And as she does it, she says, "Well, now, I am what you call a selkie. I am a creature that's as home in the water as I am on land. But one day I strayed too close to this island, and the lead hag, well, that devil, she took my skin. She took my skin that lets me take on the form of a seal. And the great leader hag, the sea hag known as Muma, took it and kept me as her servant. And once, when I tried to escape her, she took my skin and she held it over the coals as punishment. And now she wears it like a cape, and she has told me that there's an enchantment on it, and if I dare to touch it, I will burst into flame like she burned my skin. And that is why I cannot leave this island.
Sounds like quite a problem.
If I could only get my skin back, I could heal myself. I could get off the island, but they know that I've got magics that's useful. They use me as a servant. They use me to bind any small wounds they have. While they are all powerful hags, they do not have the ability to heal themselves because they are so dark and foul and filled with necromantic energy.
Fortunately, we're usually pretty good problem solvers, and we're kind of on a mission, and it's brought us this way.
If you could help me, if you could somehow find it in your heart to get my skin back, and so that I could take on my Selkie shape, I would be eternally in your debt.
But if we just give you the skin from the hags, will it still burn you, or would the hag's death undo the curse?
Well, we'll take a look and make sure that nothing happens to her.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. If I understand, it's simply that if I try to take it from her, of course, the cruel gag is that she could just be lying to me. There may not be an enchantment on it at all, but after she burned my skin, I can't take the chance.
That's true. There's nothing worse than a hag gag.
Kind of raises an eyebrow at you. At this moment, you hear a sound, a great rushing sound, and you see the waves, the small lapping waves begin to draw away from where you are near the beach.
Oh, that means there's a wave coming. When the water
Maybe we
draws
should
away,
get
that
inland
means
a
there's
little
going to be water coming to us. We should probably head up.
You all make that correct assumption, and you look up and you see a tremendous wave coming in. On top, you think you maybe see just the speck of something on top of it. As y'all quickly make your way, I would like all of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Still a straight 13 for Tix.
Excellent.
A 21.
Ooh.
Ooh.
17 that'll make it there. No problem.
Excellent. So you all quickly make your way inshore. By the way, this is the typical, like every island you've seen from movies, in that it has a rocky, sandy beach. It quickly moves into jungle, and you can see a raised up, not quite a mountain, but a raised up area near the center, which you suspect would be an extinct volcano. Morezi and Penton, y'all beat an hasty retreat, but Tix is a little bit shorter, and though he is stout and nimble, he's just not as fast, and you do end up getting kind of whooshed in the water, and about half of your things get wet.
Oh, I hate wet socks.
It's the worst. It is the worst, especially in a humid island. But even more so, since that did happen, I would like you to make one more dexterity saving throw for me, Tix.
That is a natural 1.
Ooh.
Oh.
I would like you to roll a 1d6 for me.
Oh no. Is he going to drown in an inch of water like a baby?
A D6? Not
Yes.
percentage
Big-
die?
Big hairy
Just a
baby.
1d6, yes.
That's a 3.
A 3. So as you're trying to make your way out, you see this object just raising up out of the water, and it cracks you in the back of the head, doing 3 points of damage to you as it passes by, and you are momentarily completely submerged in the water. And this object just comes skidding onto the rocks. You've gone completely past the beach onto the rocky area as it comes to a stop. You actually recognize, Tix, as you pull yourself out and shake yourself off, you all recognize it. It is actually the longship, the skiff that was originally part of your original ship.
Ooh.
And there are 3 figures on it. and you recognize all of them. Two of them are shipmates. They're two of the more battle-ready from your original ship who were all hiding because it was your job to defend the ship during the pirate attack. But one of them is an enormous orc, and his name is Tun Tun, and he is actually removing something from the ship, something wrapped in an old, you think perhaps blood-stained sail. The other one is a still quite beefy sailor whose name is Brumio, and Brumio has an amulet that he claims will keep him from drowning. He once told you, Tix, that he bought it off an old woman that promised him that it had incredible magical properties. Just thought I'd let you know that. And finally, the last figure getting off the skiff is actually the captain of your ship. And she is a handsome woman in her perhaps early 30s, though the wind and the rain has made her, more aged from a life on the sea. And she is Captain Jackson. You actually don't even know her first name because everyone just calls her Captain Jackson. And her hair is pulled back, and she has a red scarf around her waist that she wears and a scimitar at her side. And she steps off the ship. Lee, can you tell everyone what Jackson says?
Jackson steps off the skiff and motions for her compatriots to pull the bundle off the boat, and looks to the trio and says nothing.
Would anyone like to do anything?
What's with the bundle? Was it like a
Are you asking her?
Well, I just
Romeo,
want to see if I can
Tun-Tun.
guess what's going on just by looking at it. Just like, is it just like a human-sized lump in there? Does it look like something blocky?
There is a large, vaguely human shape wrapped up in that sail.
Okay. Plus, it's bloody, so that's not a good sign.
No, it isn't. Oh, I do apologize, by the way. One other thing. She was holding on for dear life inside the skiff, and she's pulling herself out now. She is just ashen-faced. The wood elf, Zuana, is also coming out. She has been really struggling, by the way. So badly that she didn't even come to help y'all when it was time, because she was so seasick. She is just shakily making her way out of the skiff, and just like she looks like a badass at all other times, but she looks like she's like 3 seconds from death now after riding this wave, and she's making her way off the skiff and looking at all of you with a just look of deep sadness.
I'll come up to her. Zuana, it's a friendly face. It's good to see you. Are you okay? You don't look so well.
The sea has not been kind to me.
Where's the bear?
She lowers her head and she walks forward, and Tun Tun, who had been holding the form, lets it, kind of drop to the ground, and she kind of winces when that happens. And she takes hold of the fabric and she pulls it back, and you see the ashen and unmistakably dead face of Osokai.
Oh my. I go over and check him over completely.
As you go to check him over using your medical skill, you've encountered people who were near death. As the famous movie said, he is all the way dead. He is not mostly dead. His cause of death is not a mystery. He has been disemboweled. Something has violently torn out his bowels, and death must have been almost instantaneous.
Merezi is not shaken by a lot of things, but this is like messing her up. This is facing her in the face with the concept of her own mortality. I'm gonna make a Constitution saving throw that she doesn't drop to her knees. That's a 16. She's fine, but she is deeply disturbed. She does not say anything or try to approach the body or the scene.
I say a prayer over him to Garl Glittergold and ask that he is taken to wherever he belongs.
You actually, very often, your god, though, as it happens, does occasionally speak to you directly. Your god generally does not speak to you in direct words, but you actually get a vague sense from him that Osokai is not where he belongs, and that he is not at peace.
Well, I'm going to have to do some prayer and some divination to figure out what to do next.
I do come to my knees next to Osakai and start crying a little because he was very helpful to us, and say, Zuana, what happened to him?
Jackson would like to interrupt right now and say, we do not have much time. In fact, we don't have any time at all. We need to find a competent healer right now.
Ouch.
Right now.
I can heal. What is the problem?
Zuana chimes in. No, she means we need someone who can raise the dead. There is a time factor here that is very, very finite, wherein upon we may be able to save the bear.
We have our selfie friend here,
She chimes in. Selkie.
Selkie.
I would be happy to help you in any way I can, but I did not have the power to bring back the dead. I can only heal those who are injured. But there is something. And she points up to the center of the island, and she says, "That is where the hags reside. And in the crater of the old mountain, there is a pool, and in that pool is the center of their magic. And that magic is dark and necromantic and vile. But if you were able to wrest control of the pool, I think you could turn it to healing. And you might even be able to bring back the dead, especially if I was able to guide you, because I've been here for many a year. But it would not be easy. In fact, I would say it was a suicide run if I did not look at all of you and see that you've been through so much."
Well, then let's get to
It
it.
seems our little quest has brought us here for another reason.
Jackson indicates to the giant orc fellow to pick up the body of Osakai and begins to force march everybody, well, not everybody, but her crewmates, in the general direction of the crater.
As y'all are walking, Zuana is filling you in that in a bizarre turn of events, a zombie shark
Whoa.
came flying out of the water. And y'all have seen various necromantic things happen in the recent past here on the water. Some very, very strange things. And in what could only be described as an indescribable moment of terrible luck, this shark landed dead on to Osakai, and he was killed instantly. There was no saving him. There was nothing to be done. He was dead by the time he hit the deck.
Wow.
They were able to dispatch the shark, but
If I recall, sorry, just out of character, Osakai is in two halves, if I remember rightly.
well, let's go ahead and say that. Yes, he is actually in two halves. Yes, he was actually torn clean in half.
Wow.
Only the sail is holding it more or less together. Tun, of course, is a full-grown, full-blooded orc, and he is easily able to carry this, though he is not able to engage in combat while he's doing. Brumio is sidled up alongside him and making sure that all is well, kind of running like honor guard with as y'all make your way through the jungle. Helped greatly, by the way, by Spree, who of course knows the island very well.
And I thought regular sharks were bad enough. Walking sharks.
Sounds like something out of a movie.
Probably not a very good move. In fact, if there were zombie sharks, that probably would be the best part. As you make your way through the woods, Spree tells you that the pool is surrounded by 3 huts, and each of the hut is where each of the 3 hags reside. And below there is a outcropping of rock on either side of the crater. And there they have forcibly coerced, she doesn't quite know how to describe it, both a necromancer and a dark priest. And between the two of them, they are maintaining the magics of this pool. And she thinks that they're the ones who actually maintain the magics.
Aha, okay.
And if you are able to take control from them, that you might be able to take over for the pool.
Okay.
So, as you're making your way through the forest, does anyone want to do anything? Is there any preparations anyone would to make? You just let me know before things get interesting.
Okay. Well, let's see. We need to worry about hags and a couple of dudes on a pool. Is there any way to avoid the hags while we try to
Should we kill the hags
take care of
first?
these pool attendants?
Yeah, good point.
That might be an undertaking. I'm sure it's going to be an undertaking. And I don't know if time is the essence, we might want to go to the source first and work our way down.
She says the hags are extremely dangerous. The main thing you want to be aware is that at least 2 of them that I know of, this is just from what I've seen, the sea hag and the boo hag have the evil eye, which at its worst can actually simply kill you just by looking at you.
Okay, we need to be sneaky then.
Well, at least not look them right in the eye, for sure. But unfortunately, they are dark creatures of magic, and they have many abilities at their command. In addition to the fact that they've also got, an army of the dead, which you saw some of.
Okay, then.
Well, then I'm going to first cast Protection from Evil on Morezi, and that gives her +2 to her armor class and protection from mind control and keeps elementals
that,
and outsiders away from her.
All around or just to evil?
+2 to armor class.
Okay, sweet.
It's like a 1-foot radius around you. It's just like immediate. So if you were to stand in the doorway of one of the huts to block the exit and then set the hut on fire, she wouldn't be able to escape.
That might technically work. There's only one way to find out, unfortunately.
And I have protection from evil too, so we can do it again.
As you're making your way up the island, by the way, you are all just pouring sweat. Dawn is just starting to come up. It has been a very, very long night for all of you. Very grateful to Spree for the healing that she offered. That's when, Jackson, you find yourself back on that spider web. And you are suspended in nothingness, and below you is the oblivion that awaits. And it is a fate worse than death. Far, far worse than death. And you feel, obviously you don't know what a high tension wire is, but you feel that undescribable twang as one of the spider webs snaps. And you feel yourself imperceptibly lower more. And you hear a voice that says, 15 minutes, no more. I am breaking every rule by allowing this to transpire, and I have no more time for you. And you snap back into yourself, and the trees part, and you look out, and you can see exactly as Spree described. You are now at the lip, near the lip of a crater, what is probably a very worn, ancient volcano. Below, you see a pool set in the bottom. It is glowing a baleful green. And about 10 feet down from the lip on either side, you see 2 figures sitting cross-legged, and they don't look very good. And I should, of course, as she did speak true, there are 3 huts that are above. Whether or not there is anyone in them, you do not know.
When you say they don't look good, they look mean or they look sickly?
They look very sickly.
Ah.
They look very, very bad. You can't see a lot of details from where you are right now. You are far enough away that you don't think you're spotted. You don't think you are. You also can't see a ton of detail at the moment.
Okay, Jackson is going to indicate to Tuntun to basically ignore everything and as best they can make their way to the pool. She's pretty insistent. We have no time left. We need to get this done, and we need to get it done now. She indicates to Brumio to take out the figure closest to us, down below. Her reasoning is there is no saving these people, and it's better them than us, and it's time to act, and it's time to act now.
And Spree, as she sees you starting to go into action, she hisses at you in a whisper. You must know, if you do not take control of the magics, it will simply make your friend an undead. You must take control and turn it into positive energies, or he will simply become a skeleton or a zombie or a lich or some other terrible.
All right. How do you know how to do that?
I could not say. I swear to you, I don't know for sure, but I think if you, and she points to you, Tick, if you take out the dark cleric, and she points to you, Pinson, if you take out the necromancer, I think that between the two of you, as long as no one interrupts you, you can take control of the power
can I
long
make a
enough
perception
to bring your
check
friend back.
to see if, or I don't know, I might be thinking of 5e, but like, is there an investigation check? And no. I want to see if there are any signs of life inside any of the huts. I don't know where that modifier is, so I'm just going to assume for a friggin' orc, I don't. I got an 11.
Okay. What you can tell is that you don't see anything like obvious, like there's a light on or you see movement in a window. What you do see is that they're all very small. Like, I mean, think like the size of a porta potty. Like, they're not big. Like, obviously someone could be inside there, but just barely. And one of them, the only thing that you notice is they're all very, very different. One of them is like very sea themed with like there's shells on it and the legs are wrapped in seaweed. One of them, it might be made of skin, you don't know. And skin and bones, literally. The other one seems to has very odd, organic-looking legs. Like, they're all, I should clarify, they're all slightly up on stilts with, like, either a rope or a small ladder leading up to them.
Okay.
But you can't see any movement in them just from looking at them.
Do they look very sturdy?
No, they do not.
Okay. Well, that might be good.
A very large orc and a very large half-orc might be able to knock down the huts in a little bit.
Yeah, at
From
least
the
to give us
side.
a little advantage over them.
A huge weapon that's like 7 feet long. I don't know how large a halberd is. It's in that range.
It's in that range, yes. It's very, very long.
All right, Penton.
Oh.
I guess it's up for you and me to go do a little switch and replace.
Is the necromancer closer or farther?
The necromancer is farther.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my quick feet to start heading in that direction.
You start spryly hurrying across the edge of the crater.
And while I'm on my way, I'm going to cast shield on myself.
Okay. I need both of you, if you wish to simply, there are little handholds and such. It's not terribly hard, but you will need to make a climb check in order to get down to them, because you do have to go down about 10 feet.
Okay.
To where the ledges are, and obviously Tix, you will get there first.
Okay. That is a straight 19.
Yeah.
You have no problem. You remember a time where you descended some rocky crevices very quickly to find a small someone to rescue them. And Penton.
All right. 17. Woohoo!
17. So your fleet feet not only take you around and by the way, the entire crater is not enormous. But, I mean, it's not inconsequential either. But you very quickly make your way around, and you are heading down. Tix, you see below you a elderly woman. Scraps of gray hair are around her head. Most importantly, though, most notably, is a giant silver spike is driven at a horizontal angle through her skull.
Oh.
But as far as you can tell, she is still alive. You know, every indication that she is still among the living.
Well, as I run up behind her, I'm going to cast Inflict Moderate Wounds and grab hold of her ear that does not have the spike driven through it.
And Penton, what would you like to do?
Okay. Give me a description of the necromancer and what's his situation other than he's sitting there cross-legged in concentration.
Okay. You see a elf, and a very rare thing indeed to see a high elf is apparently a necromancer, but it is so. And he also has a silver spike driven at a horizontal angle through his skull, and there seems to be a small amount of drool coming from his mouth.
I really hope we don't have to do that.
Spree says there's one more thing you have to do.
Yeah.
He does not appear to be, aware of your presence as far as you can tell.
I don't know if this is out of character or, but it just occurred to me. Marezi shouts, try Try pulling the spike out. See what that does.
Thanks.
Okay. You sort of stage whisper that to them, and you both hear it echoing across the canyon.
So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Without hesitation, run up and try, put a hand on the spike, put my foot up against the guy's head and pull.
First, I would like Tix to act first because you have the advantage.
Okay. So I'm going to cast the Inflict Moderate Wounds upside the head. And that is an 18.
18 hits.
Okay. That is a nice 15 points of damage.
Ouch.
15 points of damage. So you come up behind this ancient old human woman, and you touch the ear that does not have the spike coming out of it. And cause wounds is a very devastating attack. Most of half of her face just melts away. Just away. And she turns to you.
Oh.
And with her jaw now exposed partially, turns to you and just says, and she attacks. But you have injured her, by the way, because half of her face is missing. But whatever energies is happening here is sustaining her for the moment, that she is not. You suspect that any normal human would, of course, be instantly dead. But back to Penton. I'd like you to make that roll to yank on that spike.
Okay, what am I rolling against?
This is a strength check, actually.
Well,
So,
yeah. Well, I hit it on the nose, a 10.
To be fair, Penton is not the strongest individual.
This is true.
And this silver spike is driven through their skull. You grab it and you yank, and it does move, but it doesn't come out even halfway. And I'd like you to roll 1d6 for damage.
All right. That's a 6.
Oh, nice. So you really, and you feel like the matter and gristle and bone just kind of scrape against that silver.
Really,
the
DM?
vibration.
Really?
Delicious. As with the other, it turns and looks at you, the high elf, with its ashen face, and just goes and attacks.
Talkative.
And now you all see a single figure come out of the sea shack, and it is a hag, unsurprisingly. Penton and Tix, with your various knowledges, I won't even make you roll, plus it's pretty intuitive. This is a sea hag, one of the more dangerous kinds of hags, though all types of hags are incredibly dangerous. And she says, "Oh dear, playing in my pool." And she has a figure behind her, a cowering young slip of a child that literally a child, but a young man. And without even the slightest pretense, she just hurls him into the pool.
Oh.
There's nothing any of you can do because she's too far away. And the young man hits the pool, and you see the hut, the little enclosure that's made of flesh, kind of flash for a moment or kind of glow. And as you had all of you except for Jackson seen, this man just unknits. His flesh comes apart in the water, and his skeleton animates below, and its eyes begin to glow, and it begins to climb out the pit towards you, though it still has quite a far way to go. And she laughs in a terrible witch laugh. And she says, "Oh, this is going to be fun." And she snaps her fingers, and the ground begins to shake. And I want everyone to roll for initiative.
Initiative.
Yes.
That's a 15.
15? Rizzy? What did Tix get?
Tix got a 13.
Okay.
It's a 15 for Penton.
Okay.
Jackson
and
doesn't have a character sheet.
Well, then just make it a straight
Okay.
roll plus 1.
That is an 18.
18. Okay. And, I guess it would help if I rolled for the villain. Okay, so Jackson, you actually are able to move first.
Okay.
By the way, you have a scimitar at your side, a pirate's or a sailor's scimitar, as well as 2 daggers at your belt.
Okay. Am I safe in assuming I would already have had the scimitar out, given we were hiking through jungle?
Indeed.
Okay.
Hacking your way through the forest and such.
So, Jackson has her own reasons for wanting this moved along as quickly as possible. So she is going to once again indicate to Tun to assist Penton in removing the spike.
Okay.
because that is apparently what needs to happen right now, and Penton couldn't do it because he's a
Magic user.
magic user. Yes, and it's the only thing we could figure of doing. Giving Tun the implicit instruction that if the person with the spike through their head makes any trouble, to crush their skull like a twig or like a ripe crispy apple. And to do the same to the other one, who's got a ridiculous name, to assist Tix at the other side, while she... Oh, wait, sorry, no. Let's rewind. She is going to assist Tix, to assist Penton. Tun needs to continue down to the pool, like right now.
Okay.
And place Osukai by the side of the pool, in a safe location, and defend himself however he deems fit, while she will assist Penton with the spike.
So you start to make your way there. That will take your entire turn, and I do need you to make one quick climb roll for me. You have a +2 to dexterity.
That is that's a 19.
Okay. You are very motivated and are skipping your way down. However, that will take your entire turn to get from where you are down there to Tix in a single turn will be your entire turn.
Penton.
I'm sorry, to Penton, yes. And you've also given your instructions, and the others have gone as you requested.
I don't think there's anything super productive Morezi could do, because I'm pretty sure if I tried to go kill that hag, I would, die to death. Wait, how far away am I from the hag?
You are at least a solid 50 feet away. You could close the distance, theoretically, for a ranged attack in this turn, though you would have a minus because you would be still pretty far away.
Yeah, my speed is 30, and I've got a bola that's 10 feet, so that would be 10 feet past what the distance is supposed to be.
Yes, so you would take a heavy minus if you tried to do that, but you theoretically could.
That's all I can do right now.
Well, you can, if you would like, you could delay your action until the end and just wait.
Yeah, okay, yes.
So you ready your halberd and you have your bolo ready at your side and you're just waiting to see what is the opportunity here. And Penton, it is your turn.
Okay. As I see the captain is barreling her way toward this spiked figure, I'm going to take the advantage of that, turn to the hag, and send her way a couple of magic missiles.
Excellent.
All right. One of which will be Bahamut infused.
And remember, you have a +1 to that.
Right.
A certain brass dragon who touched you.
I like that guy.
In a good place.
Let's see, 4. That's 9 plus 2. That's 19 points total.
19 points. Wow. That's a really good hit. She screams because she was actually focusing on Morezi.
That's what I was hoping to.
Because Morezi was the one above, and she was the one. Whatever she is doing when she snapped her fingers and the ground began to shake, you suspect that was focused in Morezi's direction, and she was not paying attention to you. She thought you were entirely engaged with the necromancer, and it hits her. And she screams, and it is a horrifying sound to hear a hag scream. And she looks at you with murderous intent.
Oh boy.
And one of her eyes is actually bulging slightly out of the head, out of the socket, when she does so. That will bring us to Tix.
Then I'm going to do one more inflict moderate wounds on the cleric.
Dark cleric, yes.
And hope that this finishes this one off. And that is a 15.
Okay, that will hit.
Good.
They are wearing rags.
Yay. And that is another nice 13 points of damage.
That takes it to 28 points of damage. They are leaping at you with clawed hands. Their hands are just nails that are ragged, and as they do, you just reach forward and you give a rebuke of glitter gold, and they turn to dust. I mean, they just cease to exist, and the silver spike clatters to the ground. It is the only thing left. Even their clothes are turned to dust, and they are no more. And so obviously that person does not get to attack. However, the necromancer is trying to claw at you, Penton.
Okay.
And they get a 3. My new dice
Oh,
have
wow.
already betrayed me.
This is a good Christmas present.
And that brings us to the hag. And the hag finishes whatever incantation she was doing, though she was almost shaken out of it, which is, you suspect, is not something that happens very often. And the ground shakes and a form just crawls out of the ground. And it is a horrifying, misshapen amalgamation of a humanoid form made entirely of bone.
Oh.
And it is huge. It is huge. And it has one eye that is balefully glowing and looking right at you, Merezi. And then, almost as an afterthought, she snaps her fingers, and you see the figure become ethereal. And she laughs.
Don't like that.
I fear that you will have trouble hitting what you cannot touch. And the figure begins to move towards you, Merezi.
Can I go?
You most certainly can, because you have readied your action.
And the hag hasn't moved at all.
No, they haven't moved off there. There's like a tiny little platform at where you come out of the hut.
Okay, then I guess I'm just gonna have to I'm gonna go walk forward feet and try to throw my bola at the stupid hag.
Okay, well, this giant bone monster is right in front of you.
Oh.
And if you leave that area, it will get an attack. I would like you to make a perception roll.
Sure. That's a 5.
Oh.
I just thought I'd give you a little chance there. So you have a choice. You can try to attack this thing. You can go into a defensive stance to increase your armor against its attacks, or you can try to escape it and risk an attack of opportunity from it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hunker and try to be a bit more armor class.
You go into a defensive stance, and it swings at you.
Now remember, she's got a +2 against evil.
And this thing is just about as evil as you come. You see its huge clawed fingers, like one hand has more fingers than the other. It is an absolute just abhorrent aberration. And you instinctively bring up your halberd in a defensive stance, and its claws just go clang against your halberd, and like a few flecks of bone like just chip off of it.
DM, I have a question. Is
Yes.
this a summoned creature?
It is absolutely a summoned creature.
Therefore, it is unable to make contact with her, physical contact, because of the protection from evil.
Well, then I will say that is what happened. Is that clang was actually it not your halberd, but it bouncing off the aura protecting it, and it is looking like. The hag is like, wait, what you would have noticed, and that Penton notices, is that the aura around it keeps it from hitting, and it does not understand what is happening.
Oh, okay, so I could not get an attack of opportunity from this grody boy, right?
That is correct.
Then I'm going to go with my original plan because I'd like to do something. So I walk 30 feet.
Well, you run 30 feet, yes. And it does swing at you, and again, it patang! This odd echoing sound as the aura around you like sparks, and it cannot touch you. And as you move towards the hag, you see again its eyes kind of go like, huh? You can try to hit it with your bolo.
Yeah.
You will have a -3 to hit.
Okay, Dice, you've been really mean to me recently, so let's hope. Lord in heaven, if I could just roll something in the no, it didn't hit. I don't even know what her armor class is, but I don't think a 3 does it.
Definitely not. Well, and it was a long shot anyway, literally, and you just see your bolo go off into the woods, and the hag turns back and looks at you and just goes, and that will bring it back around to Jackson.
How are my crewmates doing?
Well, they're doing very well. It took the entire turn. I don't remember who you sent to help who.
I sent Tun down with Osakai's body.
He is getting down there, though he is about to encounter that skeleton coming up, but he's kind of got the body slung over his shoulder sloppily, and you think it's going to be a little awkward for him, but you're pretty sure that a full-grown orc can handle a single skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
You're not super worried about that.
And I sent the other fella off to help Tix, but
And he is climbing down there right now.
yeah. So it appears Tix doesn't need his help at this moment.
Yeah, he's sort of in mid-transit, and he's like, oh.
Well, he'll probably keep going anyway, knowing
Right.
them following my orders. So I am now down with Penton.
Yes.
Okay. and the necromancer is still.
Still alive, and
Yes.
Pinson kind of half has his hand halfway on the spike, and the creature, the whatever it is flailing at him, and he's trying to keep it at bay by holding onto the spike.
So it's 10 feet down from the top.
Nearly comedic.
How far down to the bottom of the crater from where we are now?
Between 30 and 40 feet, depending on where you hit.
I'm going to... Jeez, I really hope you can do this, Penton. I'm going to shout to Penton to hold onto that spike with both hands with all the strength he's got, and I'm going to crash tackle the necromancer with the aim of pulling both of us all the way down to the bottom of the crater.
Now, I will tell you, obviously you'll take damage if you fall down the crater. There is also a chance, there's a chance that you could roll into the water if you do that. Not a guarantee, but it's not even like, it's not directly below you.
Yeah.
But there's a chance you would roll into it, so I just have to warn you.
Well, I am taking the chance that because I have a body, the body will cushion some of the blow of the fall as well. As I intend to have it facing away from me as we go down, I will attempt to hold on to the body so that I do not roll into the water. Or neither of us rolls into the water, because I don't want this necromancer coming back as a zombie either.
Right. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. So I need a few things to happen. Jackson, I need you to roll to body slam.
Okay.
And you can get a plus two to that.
Well, thank you, because that's a 22 in that case.
So did you roll a natural 20 then?
I did roll a natural 20.
Okay, excellent. And I would also like Penton. I would like you to make a strength check.
Yeah, here's the tricky part. Here we go. Well, it's a 12 against my 10.
That's just enough, particularly with the natural 20. I would like, since you did roll a 12, though, I would like you also to make a reflex saving throw for me.
That's I can do a little better. Oh, yeah, that's a 17.
Okay, so this is what happens. Jackson comes skidding down the side of the wall, turns, looks at you both, says, "Hang on to the spike," and rushes forward, slams into the necromancer, and they both go off the edge. You are left holding the spike with Gore at the end, and both of them tumble off the edge. And as soon as that happens, there is a boom as the energies, you both, Tix and Pinson, you feel the energies, the magical and in some ways godlike powers that are coming out from this pool just shift and roil and kind of, as you might say, up for grabs.
All right.
Tix, is there anything you'd like to do?
I am going to scoop up the spike, stand next to Penton, and cast Sanctuary.
We're on opposite sides of the crater right now.
Oh, that's right.
You are going to scoop up the spike?
Scoop up the silver spike and still cast Sanctuary.
Okay.
And start praying to take control of the magical energies of the pool.
And Pinson, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to go to where the necromancer was sitting. I'll imitate his position and hold on to the spike and focus on whatever kind of energy is coming out of this thing.
Pinson, I would like you to make an Arcana roll. And Tix,
I will do so.
I would like you to make a religion check.
Adjusted 18.
Okay.
That is a 13.
13. With that first roll, 13 isn't quite a failure, but it isn't quite a success yet. So
That's what I was afraid of.
you feel the energy starting to sway, but they haven't quite switched over yet. And that's mainly that you can still literally see that the waters are like a baleful green and a sickly necromantic green, but they're starting to shift and roil, and you feel the spikes starting to heat up in your hand, though they're not burning you yet, either of you. And now let's go ahead and have Jackson roll a reflex saving throw.
Alrighty. That is an 18 on the die, so that's a 20 total, I guess. She has a +2 reflex.
Okay, so I got all deuces. So that's 2, 4, 6 points of damage, halved. So you take 3 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you have 28 total hit points. And you, in fact, do cushion your blow both by your reflexes and by slamming this human body into the ground. I do also need you to make another reflex saving throw, however, to see about rolling towards a certain body of water.
Okay. That is a 21 total.
Oh, very good. So not only do you stop yourself from rolling, it is at a slight incline, but you slam your hand down and keep the, by the way, body, it is very dead, the necromancer, from rolling into the pit. Now we move to Morezi. Morezi, what would you like to do? You are now much closer to the hag, and you could actually enclose for combat if you so choose.
Yeah. That's
Morezi smash.
There's no doubt in my this is a stupid idea because she's got that death stare and stuff. So I'm gonna try. I don't know if it's gonna, but just know that I am not making eye contact. It's I'm looking at her forehead or at her left ear while I come at this lady with a halberd.
Okay. You will get a -2 to strike, but that is going to, in case of death stare, that gives you a tremendous advantage because you literally are averting your eyes.
That's a -2 to what would be my base attack bonus?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty good since that just drops it down to my base. I think there's something weird about my halberd. I don't know. I think I'm specialized in it, so it's Gucci.
Right. You have a higher total bonus to hit with you because you have weapon specialization.
I have not had any good rolls yet. Yeah, I don't think a 12's gonna cut it.
It is not, and it's partially that you've never tried to attack someone while not looking at them.
I gotta pray to Jesus to get these good rolls. I'm in a bit of a pickle, buddies.
She kind of sidesteps out of the way, and your halberd just slashes into the little platform that she's standing on, and you see seashells just splatter everywhere. Jackson, by the way, you hear in your mind one of those massive cable-sized spider webs just patang and echo across the cosmos, and you know that time is essentially out, that you have just moments left. I would like Tix for you to make another religion check.
Oh, come on.
Right at this moment, with free action, Jackson will be saying, whatever you're going to do it now.
And that is a nice 17.
17.
Ah.
You see in your mind the image of a small golden squirrel, and you remember not that long ago when you had an encounter, the image of a man in a well-dressed outfit in a cave with glimmering gems smiles at you, and you just hold onto that spike and boom! The energy just flips in a heartbeat, and there is a pleasing, cooling green glow. And you never thought that two greens could be so different. One is sickly, one is death, one is chaos, and the other is healing and magic and restoration. And Jackson, what would you like to do?
Jackson is going to quickly sweep the area for Osakai's package, where Tantan left it. And once again, we are both of us, we are going to... I'm going to try and again crash tackle the dead body this time of Osakai into the pool. We are both going into the pool.
I would like you to roll dexterity, +2.
Okay. That is a 19.
19. You run forward. You see Tun. He is just smashing this skeleton to pieces nearby as you run and you snatch hold of the sail containing this massive body within. And you could, by the way, you could just barely lift it, but you were desperation and the strength of these arms that have spent their life working with ropes out in the sea. And you just hurl it along with yourself into the pool. And you all see this just of water comes spraying upwards. And that's where we'll end episode 30. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Thank you, guys, for playing.
Absolutely.
And if you all want to find out what's going to happen, go ahead and tune in 2 short weeks, and you will find out. Did y'all know that we have a YouTube channel?
We do?
I know.
Imagine that.
And if you do not have, or if you're not a regular listener by podcasting, did you know that you could go to YouTube and actually listen to all of these adventures?
I had no idea.
I know.
I didn't either.
A special shout out to Duke. Duke, who has actually been listening to us on YouTube, has been commenting. Thank you so much for doing so, Duke. If y'all prefer to listen to that this way, just go to YouTube and put in Chafing Armor. I bet you it'll be the first thing to come up. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we will roll with you soon.
Thanks, Duke. You the man.